I want to talk about racism for a little bit. Okay? I done a video this morning. I was a little bit fired up when I done it. That's because I am getting fucking sick of seeing it. Okay? Very sick of seeing it. We got a whole bunch of people out there that want to claim they're awake. Awake to what? That would be my question. What are you awake to? Because it's obvious from what I'm seeing, you're awake to bullshit. Okay? For one, nobody can control the color their skin is when they're born. They didn't ask to be born. For two, I hear blacks say, well, it's the whites that run everything. The whites run everything. The whites run everything. I know millions and millions of whites that don't run jack squat. And when you say, but it's still whites in positions, let me tell you something. If you would actually study what's been going on, you'd find out that the ones in the positions are bloodline. They've managed to do a really good job, the global elite have, of making sure the ones that have positions globally are all within a bloodline. And if you're not within that bloodline, you will never be in a position to run shit. Don't matter who you are, don't matter what skin color you are. If you're not within that bloodline. And that's no lie, that's fact. And how did that happen? Well, because let's see, the Asians, the Mexicans, the Caucasian people, the black people, all of us, the Muslims, all of us, Germans, don't matter where you're at. We all failed. Chinese, Russians, don't matter. We all failed. Failed at what? Standing up for ourselves against these evil fucks to begin with. Excuse my language, but that's what that comes down to. And I've been sitting there since the Trayvon case watching more and more bullshit spill out of people's mouths. Brought out the worst of everybody, didn't it? But when I sit there and I listen to white people blame the blacks, black people blame the whites, and so on, it just makes me sick. Because you're all falling for the fucking hypocrisy that the fucking global elite wants you to. Every last one of yous. You're puppets on a string. You're not awake. You're puppets. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. And I sit there and I listen to people say, well, it don't matter if it's all Jews or whatever, because Jews are still white. Newsflash. Names and faces. I've said that how many times? To start recognizing names and faces so that you could go after the perpetrators instead of the innocent? But you want to go after the innocent. Just like when I hear the blacks talk about slavery. Something that I had nothing to do with. Something that was beyond my control. Something that happened before I was born. Long before I was born. Long before my dad was born. And long before you were born. That didn't affect your life at all. But let me tell you something. I've watched the bullshit. I've seen blacks be shit on just because their skin's black. But I've also seen whites be shit on because their skin is white. I've seen both sides of it. I've lived both sides of it because I've been around and seen it. And I've had situations to where I'm driving through a neighborhood. That's right, driving through a neighborhood and get damn near carjacked as they tried their best to carjack me, and it was black people who did it. Jumped up on my running board, got that door open before I swung off and he fell off the running board. Now what business did he have jumping on my running board to climb in my vehicle? None. Outside the fact he was planning on robbing me because he was a fucking thief. And he was black. But do I blame the entire black population for what a few people did? No. And it gets pretty fucking sickening. It gets pretty fucking sickening to sit and hear somebody well, the Caucasian people Caucasian people, my ass. That's what I got to tell you. Caucasian people, my ass. How would you like all the Caucasian people to say, well, the black people? If it wasn't for the black people, you're falling into what the global elite wants you to fall for. So you're not awake. And if you're somebody out there and you're speaking up and trying to stop division, and you claim you're not a racist, and I don't care what skin color you are, if you claim you're not a racist, and you're trying to fight against this problem to wake people up, because we will never stop the evil unless we stand together as one. End of story. Unless we can grow the fuck up, which is the epic failure of society, and stand together as one, you will never stop nothing. Okay? End of story. And if you're actually fighting against the division and racism, then when you see a white person do something wrong against the black and you jump up there and you do a video and you expose that, great! Okay, if you're a black man and this is what you do, or a black woman and this is what you do, great, I'm proud of you for exposing them. But when you see a black person do something against the white, and you don't say nothing about it because it was a black person, and you won't jump up on the video and do that, will you? And every single time, if it's a white person on the black, you're right there. But if it's a black person on the white, you disappear. It shows me one thing. It shows me that you have a problem with skin color. That's what that shows me. You're not fighting against racism. You're helping keeping it going. Because you can't be afraid to speak out against your own and tell me that you're fighting for the problem. Because you're not. You know, and I don't care who you are. I'm not going to discriminate against you at all, okay? I don't care who you are. You know, if the white guy does something wrong to the black speaks up. You go with your life experiences. When somebody's done something to you, you have a right to be angry. If their skin color was white, you call it for what it is, but you recognize the name and the face. You don't recognize an entire culture. Because the entire culture didn't do it to you. And this hypocrisy about, well, all the whites run. All the whites run. A bunch of hogwash. Bloodlines run. Because all of us failed to stand together. And we will never stand together as long as we're fighting one another. Over bullshit. Just like they want us to. Then, to top it all off, you know, you sit there and you're going to say, well, I don't care if they're Jews or whatever because their skin color's still white. So what you're saying is you're racist. What you're saying is you have a problem with their skin color, huh? So you're going to blame them for your problems. You're blaming an entire culture. It's like the white people who blame all the blacks. If it wasn't for the blacks. It's no different. It's just like 9/11. We blame the Muslims. So what do? We blame the Muslims. That's right, we blame the Muslims. When it was our own government that did it to us. Pathetic. Okay, absolutely sickening and pathetic. Then we have the other problem, you know. The Caucasian people are mad because we, the blacks, are finally standing up for ourselves. Standing up for yourselves? You mean by attacking innocent people who's never done nothing to you, you're standing up for yourselves? No, you're not. You're doing exactly what the global elite wants you to do. You're a fucking good little puppet, ain't you? You're a puppet on a string. You're no better than the global elite. You're no better than George Bush. You're not fighting back. How do you fight back? By attacking innocent people? Names and faces. When is that going to sink into your head? Names and faces, not skin color. Sickening. Absolutely fucking sickening. You lose. That's right. You black people, you Mexican people, you Russian people, you German people, you Chinese people, you Caucasian people, we all lose to the same families. To the same families. And why do we all lose? Because you won't stand together because you never grew up. You don't give any recognition to the Civil War that it was white people from the North who fought against the evil white people in the South to free you. You know what you do to the white people in the North now? You shit in their face. And you blame them for something that you didn't even live through yourself. That's not the people's fault that are alive on today's planet. With the exception of the bloodline that's still running this damn place. And why is that same bloodline is still in the same power? Because we never stood up globally to stop them. We've allowed one family line, bloodline. We've allowed these bankers and criminals to do it. Because you don't stand up against them. No, you don't stand up against them. You go join the military and claim you're being a man. Regardless of what country you're in. And the military is being controlled by the same damn idiots. Can you get that through your heads? No, you probably can't. You know, it comes right down to it. If you claim you're fighting against racism, you're fighting against division, then let me tell you something. If you're a black person, you say, I'm fighting against this bullshit, and you see a white person does something wrong with a black person, and you jump up there and you speak out and you expose them on a video, great. But when it's the other way around, you better have your ass on that fucking cam exposing your brother, your black man. And that goes the same with the whites. Because if you can't expose both sides, you're not helping nothing. That means you're keeping the division going. That's all that means. It's hypocrisy. It's bullshit. You're not helping the cause. You're keeping the cause going. That's the same as when you say you're fighting back. The white man's getting mad now because we're finally fighting back. No, the white man ain't getting mad because you're finally fighting back. You're attacking innocent people who never done a damn thing to you. Based on their skin color. Then you can say, well, that's what he did to us. Oh, so two wrongs make a right? Since when did two wrongs make a right? It doesn't. Like I said, guess who wins? Sure to hell not you. You know who wins? Same fucking families win again. Because you never grew up. The big failure of society is to grow the fuck up. You're not fighting back. You're as bad as they are. You got the same mindset the global elite do. You're every bit as bad as they are. And as far as, well, we just want to be able to run things. Power and greed. I could replace all of Congress and all the Senate with black people. It won't be enough. No, it won't be enough. You'll find another reason to want more. Then more. Then more. And it'll never stop. It'll never stop. It's the virus that's attacked the human brain. It's power and greed. The only thing I can say is this. Grow the fuck up. We all lose until we stand together. And if we can't stand together, then maybe you deserve to all die, right? What can I say? Other than I'm tired of the bullshit. I've been slammed for being white. You've been slammed for being black. And when we grow the fuck up, because I had no control over my skin color, no more than you had any control over your skin color. All I can say is grow the fuck up.